All right, so we're going to talk about multi-step equations. And multi-step equations are equations with multiple steps. And some might even include distributive property and like terms. Most do. And so we're going to talk about the number of solutions, which goes along with multi-step equations. And I gave you those steps to solving those. So the very first one we have is a null set. It is also called your empty set. Your empty set means there's no answer there. There's no solution. And sometimes they signify that with symbols. Either this bracket that's empty or something that looks like a zero with a line through it. So what that means is A is going to be equal to B, or in this case, not equal to B. So if we have an equation and it says 3x plus 4 equals 3x. That's variables on both sides. We just did that. So you have to get your variables together. So we're going to subtract 3x on both sides. Wait, if we subtract 3x on both sides, 3x minus 3 say x is 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. So that means they cancel out. 3x minus 3x is 0. 0 is not equal to 4. And since 4 is not equal to 0, or 0 is not equal to 4, there is no solution. And this is what we call never true. So this equation is never true. We can never find an answer. Doesn't matter what number you come up with, it will never work. The next one is the one solution. We've been working on that since December. One solution. That's all we've been getting. And so it's just called one solution. It doesn't really have another name. And so x will equal a, where x is a variable and a is any number that solves that equation. So let's say we have 2x equals 20. We know that 2 is our coefficient because it's being multiplied times our variable. We're going to divide both sides by that coefficient, which is 2. 2 divided by 2 is just 1x. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So this one is sometimes true. Because sometimes you have it right and sometimes you just have it totally wrong. Meaning for this equation, 10 is always the answer. It's true. But if I say 11, 11 is not the answer. So sometimes we have a true answer and sometimes we do not. We have a wrong answer. And last but not least is identity. Identity is your infinitely many solutions. So A will always equal A. So they will always be equal no matter what number you choose. So we have 4x plus 2 equal 4x plus 2. Wow, we said these look the same on both sides. They are. So we're going to subtract 4x from both sides. 4x minus 4x is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. Here, 4x minus 4x is 0. So that is also equal to 2. 2 is definitely equal to 2. Those are definitely equal. And since 2 is equal to 2, the solution is all numbers. Meaning you could pick the number 10 and I could pick the number 5 and we're both right. So this one is not never true. It's not sometimes true. It is always true. Always true. So we need to know this to solve our equations. So example 1, solve each equation. Oh, look at that. You don't have to check. Ms. Matthews let you off the hook on that. But you still need to check your answer to make sure you're right. 5, 15, we're going to distribute it times the 20 and times the D, what we did in our other video. 15 times 20 is 300. 15 times D is 15. D equals 420. Look at that. It looks like a two-step equation. We know to subtract 300 on both sides. 300 minus 300 is 0. That leaves us with 15D. 420 minus 300 is 120. Divide both sides by the coefficient, which is 15. D is equal to 8. Same thing with the next one. It is the negative 3. Negative 3 times 9 is negative 27. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x or minus 3x. So we have to do our two-step equation. Inverse of negative 27 is positive 27. So add it. Cancels out to be 0. Gives us negative 3x. 33 plus 27 is 60. We're going to divide both sides by the coefficient. So x is going to equal negative 20. And that's me looking at my calculator. So I did 60 divided by negative 3. That gave me negative 20. So next, I'm going to do distributive property again. So 5 times 8 is 5a. 5 times 7 is 35. That is a negative 7, so minus 35. We're going to add 35 to both sides. 5a is equal to 60. 5 is your coefficient, so divide both sides by 5. 60 divided by 5 is 12. So, example 2. Example 2 goes a little deeper. It's a little harder. So here, we are going to solve these equations. We're going to distributive property. 6 times x is 6x minus 18 plus 10, because 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. 2 times 3 is 6x minus 8, because 2 times 4 is 8. Which actually sometimes forget to distribute, right? So don't you forget. So you have negative 18 and 10. Negative 18 plus positive 10 gives me a negative 8. And I can check myself in the calculator. Oh, this is like one of our properties we went over just a minute ago. Let's see. Let's minus 6x from both sides. And I get a negative 8 equals a negative 8. So, since these are equal, I already told you they're always true. And the solution is all numbers. Let's do the next one. And we're going to do the next part of multi-step equation in another video. So we're going to distribute. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times the negative 2 is a negative 16 or minus 16x. 12 minus 5x. 12 minus 20x plus 4x. And we're going to finish this in the next video.